In this video I'm going to unbox and build this little robot solar car or eco robot that you can build. It works either with a solar panel or a saltwater little battery. So here's all the components. So you've got stickers there, you've got a little screwdriver, tiny motor, a saltwater dripper, the wheels, the front wheels, the back wheel, the saltwater power modules, the solar panel, some screws and stuff like that, a gear and all that. So it's quite funny, the packaging. I think they use sort like kind of packaging for lots of things, because if you see the size of the box, and this is totally empty, so it's probably packaging that's good used for lots of uses. So we'll take everything out, and our stickers are here, and then we'll just place this there. So I like to look at and identify. So here's my saltwater power units. I've got 3 of them. There's this part, and here are the solar panel plus my motor and the 2 contacts and the saltwater and the screwdriver. So we'll start building and putting it together. Here's this instruction manual that came with it. So we'll just go through it, and step by step it will give us a guide. So here's the steps that you have to follow. So we'll follow those steps and build it. So they asked first we'll take all of this out first and place them so we can use them. There's one of the parts, my little screwdriver, the saltwater dripper. We'll take those parts out. And then our saltwater, we can only take one of them out, so I'll leave the rest in the box. And so the first step that's been asked is to connect the motor. So we'll just grab the motor. It's a really low voltage motor, that's why it's so tiny. And then you connect the motor, the red wire on the right. This is the motor's contact points, and the black wire on the left. And then this goes into the casing here at the back. There's a little place for it to slide in. I'll take our wires around there. And just slides in there, and then the other side slides in there. So after the motor, we're going to assemble the front wheel, which is this part, and there's a tiny axle here. So there's our screws and a tiny little axle. The bigger axle with the gear on is obviously for the back. So you assemble your front wheel with the tiny axle, and these just click together. So here's my front view, and then after this we're going to put the big axle goes through there, and then the motor fits in this area so that the gear can turn on that wheel. So that there's the motor turned on the gear there, and the motor is placed in its position. Just tuck the wires away there. Then after this part, we can put the other part of the motor of the gear on. So we'll put this on there. The motor just slipped out. Still in position. So that's clicked together. Oh, I forgot to put the wheel in, so we'll just open it a little bit up, put the front wheel in, and then slide it together. Make sure the motor seems to slip out of its position. So we'll just make sure the motor is in. This is on. That's on. Front wheels in. The axle. Make sure the axle's on the motor's in place. And we'll put and click the whole part together. The motor seems to slip out of its position the whole time, so I'll just make sure I hold it. Maybe I should hold it on its side like this, and then we can join these two together. Hopefully the motor will stay in place now, and it seems to slip out the whole time. There's nothing keeping the motor in there, so we'll just have to be careful and maybe move and just quickly jiggling around the contact points, moving that in. There. There. Make sure the motor stays in. Maybe having it on its side like this will keep the motor in place. Then we'll move the axle in. And then it just clicks together like that. So now I've put the whole part together. So there's 3 screws and there's 3 places for the screws to go in. So you just slide the screws in there. Don't over tighten them, just tighten them. Remember, in plastic you can easily wear out the thread. And there's my now the solar panel needs some assembly as well, so these 2 parts go with the solar panel. So we'll just quickly open up the solar panel, and then it goes in this, and let me just see. So we'll first test the solar panel, and then we'll prepare some salt for the assembling the whole. Just gave this. It's important when you do this part that you make sure you want your contact points to be over that hole. So when you put it in this, make sure the contact holes line up with the part there. And then here's our solar panel assembly. It's quite dark in here, so it might not work with the solar panel alone. Then we'll put our back wheels on, and then we can just add our stickers for decoration. And we'll see if we put a bit of extra light on here, if we can't create enough energy for it to go. So when you've assembled the whole thing, you can just add the little stickers. So they got these cool mag wheel stickers that you can put on the side. And the moment I've got the salt battery on, so we'll see, probably takes a little time to activate. And some cool side stickers. eyes. And then some sensors here on the chest. And then some cool stickers.